as a promoter, do you, let's suppose, as a Golden Boy, who has, Canelo, who has Gillian, Peter Gillian, do you hold your big guns till Golovkin gets a little older, till Golovkin, I guess in their eyes proves himself more against, bigger names? Or do you say, you know what, come on, bring it? What do you do if you're Golden Boy?
If I'm Oscar De La Hoya, I'm keeping them as far away of Triple G as possible, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? Canelo has a lot of fights coming up, and mega fights. You're talking about a match against Miguel Cotto. You're talking about a possible rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr. That we both know both of those fights are going to draw in huge numbers. They're gonna bring in a lot of money, and Canelo actually has a shot to be victorious in those bouts. You never know what's going to happen in this sport. If I'm Golden Boy and I'm Oscar De La Hoya, I don't even want to hear the name Triple G, to tell you the truth. It's too risky. I don't want my champion to be flat on his face and knocked out. That's going to show that I don't have the best fighter, and it's going to show everybody that, the best middleweight fighter is not in my camp. It's not in my stable, and that can hurt me, because then, everybody's going to remember that knockout. Everybody's going to remember, he's not that good because Triple G came in and destroyed him. So if I'm Oscar De La Hoya, I give my props to Triple G. I wish him the best. I'll come see your fights, but definitely I'm not going to put in my stars.
Who's promoting Cotto right now?
Right now, Cotto is with Top Rank. He's with Top Rank. He's Bob Arum. He's Top Rank. He's trained by Freddie Roach. So right now, it would be interesting if they do a Canelo versus Cotto, because that would mean that somehow, some way, the Cold War between boxing is getting fixed.
So if you're promoting Triple G, G-Force, do you insist and push and plead for the mega fight, or do you go after the belts that are out there?
Right now, even Triple G's in a very unique situation, because even if you beg and plead, I just don't see these promoters giving him a Canelo fight or a Peter Quillen fight. I just don't see it happening. It's too much of a risk. So if I'm Triple G's promoter, I go get the belts. And think about it. If I'm Gennady Golovkin and I have all the belts in the middleweight division, but the WBC, which is Miguel Cotto, everybody's going to be looking at Miguel Cotto and saying, okay, what's going on here? Why is this guy? So
basically, he could force the issue.
He could, yes.
So you're in agreement with me. Somebody asked me today, what do you do? Because I've been in this a long time, and I always look at this from a business perspective. Therefore, you have to take out emotion. You have to look at the politics of it, the business side, what's more lucrative. You got to be cold about it. Just look at all angles and look at what everybody's thinking, what's in their best interest, what's best for them. If I'm in charge of Golovkin, this is what I do in this order. And you tell me if you agree with this. I first go after King Solomon, 40 years old, from Australia, and I like the IBF title. So now I have the WBA, I have the IBO, I go after the IBF. And while Cotto's figuring out what he's doing with whoever his next opponent is, and maybe Canelo, and all that's getting worked out, I move on and try to say, okay, you guys, those are the stars, let them do their thing. Then I go after Peter Gillian, who has the WBO. So now I would have the WBA, IBO, IBF, WBO, leaving only the WBC. So whoever may have that title, whether it's Canelo or whether it's Cotto, for a mega fight. And that's where I'm at. I'm going to stand behind Triple G, G-Force, till this is all over. Linebacker Larry, Al Cube, do you agree with me?
I think it's a great idea. The only obstacle that I see in that is that these organizations sometimes force you to face their number one or number two competitor in their organization. So, the WBA might come up to Gennady Golovkin and say, you have to face our number one fighter because you're our champion, so that could be kind of an issue there. But I totally, if it was up to me and I had my decision, I would do that. I would go unify all the titles and become the undisputed middleweight champion.
At the end of the day, the people are the ones that decide. You know, as they said in the movie Gladiator, the mob rules, the mob controls, the mob dictates which way this all goes. And we're just here to inform the mob as much as possible, you know, like a good citizen. Thank you very much for your time. You know, I'll cube linebacker Larry. Don't call you Crazy Larry. The girls call you Lovely Larry, Lovable Larry. So we'll catch up with you later. And, have a great time in New York. And, we expect a great fight in New York.